Priti Rekha,
Yes, sir.
what do you mean by reflection of light?
Phenomena of bouncing back of light into same medium on striking a smooth surface.
Yeah, okay, fine. Tanuj, give me the laws of reflection.
The
Tanuj.
angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection, and the incident ray, the normal to the mirror, all lie on and the point of incident and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane.
Yeah, fine. Prerna, what do you mean by angle of incidence?
The angle made by the incident ray and the normal is called angle of incidence.
Okay. Himadri, what do you mean by luminous object?
Object which emit light of their own.
So any doubts from last day's portion? Any doubts from last day's portion?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah, if
No,
no,
sir.
we'll proceed to the next portion. So last day we discussed about laws of reflection and we saw this much terms. I hope all of you have drawn the diagram and understood the thing. Now, two statements are very important because it is commonly repeated for every exam. That is, even if you go to plus two also, this is a potential question for your board exam. State the laws of reflection. And in later part of the chapter, we will study laws of refraction. That time, don't confuse. Understand the term difference. This is laws of reflection. And secondly, we will be studying laws of refraction. And in case of both, the second law, that is here, I've given the second law that is common for both cases. The second law, that is incident ray, refracted ray, and the normal. Or here also, please correct it. Last day also it was written refracted. It is not refracted, it is reflected. And I wanted to say that is the difference between the two laws. So laws of reflection, the incident ray, reflected ray, and normal all lie in the same way. Next, we will study laws of refraction. That time it will be incident ray, refracted ray, normal all lie in the same way. Now, this statement will not be there. Angle of incidence will not be equal to angle of refraction in case of laws of refraction. Here it is equal. Fine. Now again, another common mistake that students used to make is that here there is a possibility of marking another angle, which is that you can also mark an angle between incident ray and what is this? Lying horizontal. What is this? It is a mirror or reflecting surface. So you can mark this angle also. There is a possibility always thinking of this angle. And people used to mark, suppose this as I and this as R, and they will tell I is equal to R. Never go for this kind of representation. We will always measure angle with respect to normal. Here normal is very important. Suppose I have given you a mirror and you know this is your incident ray. Now first step to calculate angle of incidence, what you should do? Immediately you should mark your point of incidence. And to the point of incidence, you should construct a normal. And whenever you have the normal, you can mark your angle of incidence. So that is a method you should follow. And people used to make this mistake at some time. At least some of you used to take this as angle of incidence. Never do that mistake. And here also, if I mark this two angles, suppose this is theta 1. I'm marking this as theta 2. Is theta 1 equal to theta 2? What do you think? Is theta 1 equal to theta 2? What do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, why? Because if this is I, theta 1 is what? 90 minus I, right? And if this is R, theta 2 is what? 90 minus R. Now we know I is equal to R, so I can here also write I itself. So technically theta 1 is also equal to theta 2, but we don't consider that to be the statement. That is right, theta 1 is equal to theta 2, but that is not the statement. Why? Because we measure the angle with respect to the normal. We measure angle with respect to the normal. Fine. Now again, come back to the second point. Second point, what do you mean by same plane? What is the idea of same plane? Tell me what plane we are talking in this case. That means we have
the mirror.
No. Mirror's plane is, suppose here mirror is kept like this. Mirror is kept like this. Plane of mirror is like this. We are not talking about mirror's plane. Suppose you draw this diagram in your book. In your book also you draw the same diagram. When you draw this diagram in your book, you are talking about the plane of your book. In this case, you are watching this class through your mobile, and all this incident ray, normal reflected ray lie in what? The plane of the screen. So here the plane means the plane of the screen you are watching. Or if you are drawing this diagram in your book, it means the plane of your book. What is the meaning actually there? None of the rays is coming out of the book. Suppose if you keep your book like this, none of the rays is coming out of the book towards you, or nothing is going in. If you watch 3D movies, we always think that what something is coming out of the screen. So here similarly, none of this rays is coming out. All are confined in the plane itself or in the screen itself. Outside the screen, none of these rays are coming out or going in. Fine. So that is the idea of plane in the same plane. Here the plane refers plane of the screen. If you are staring at the screen, it is a plane of the screen. Or if I draw in a blackboard, it is a plane of the blackboard. If I draw it in a book or sheet of paper, it is a plane of those things. Got the idea? Meaning none of the rays is actually crossing the plane or coming out or going in. Fine. So that is the idea of the two cases. And again, I'm saying if you have written a refracted ray, please correct it. It is a reflected ray. Last day's notes. Okay, fine. Now, if that is the case, we mainly have two types of reflection. This also you have studied in 8th standard. If any one of you recall, what are the different types of reflection? Now, those who remember, answer it fast. Reflection is mainly of two types. What are they? Write it down. First type of reflection is regular reflection. Reflection is of two types. First one, regular reflection. And second one, irregular reflection. So reflection is of two types. First one, regular, and second one, irregular reflection. Now, can anyone tell what you mean by regular reflection? Can anyone tell what you mean by regular reflection?
Reflection formed by a smooth polished surface.
Yeah, reflection mostly formed by smooth and polished surface. They are known as regular reflection. Yes. For example, if I take a smooth polished surface, and the classic example for a smooth polished surface is nothing but a glass. So here you have a glass material, and we are comparing it with what? This is a rock. And what can you say about the surface of the rock? It is rough. Compared to glass, the surface here is very rough. So here you have a rock, a piece of rock and glass in comparison. Now we are taking some incident rays which are falling on this glass. And what can you tell about this reflected rays? All the incident
All
rays.
the rays are parallel to each other.
Yeah, all the reflected rays are parallel to each other. And if they are parallel, I can use the word they are reflected uniformly. They are here in case of glass, all the incident rays falling on the glass are reflected uniformly. Meaning what? If I measure the angle of all these things, it will be equal. So that is why I use the term uniform reflection. And this type of reflection, you call it as regular reflection. So regular reflection is a type of reflection in which all the reflected rays are reflected uniformly, or we can say they are reflected such that they are parallel to each other. So note it down. Regular reflection occurs in case of smooth reflecting surface, and here reflection is uniform. And here reflection is uniform. And as a result, you will get a clear image there. Clear image there. The image will be having a bit higher clarity. Now, coming to irregular reflection, first itself you can see the surface is not smooth enough. So even though the incident rays will be parallel here, but what about reflected rays? It is not parallel. Reflected rays are going back in random directions. Some of the reflected rays are meeting at this point, some of them will diverge away or will not meet. So this is the characteristic in case of irregular reflection. So again, right, it occurs when it falls on rough surface, and here the reflection is non-uniform. What is the meaning of non-uniform? The reflected rays are not parallel to each other. And here also you will get an image. Why? Because always image you get when the two reflected rays meet. So they are meeting at a multiple points. So you will get an image, but that image will not be clear. It will be a blurred image. So in both cases, you will be getting an image, but what is the difference? One, it will be clear, other it will be blurred. Sometimes it will not even be visible. So that is the two type of reflection. Now both these types are known by other names. A regular reflection is also called by another name. It is known as specular. So regular reflection, we also call it as specular reflection. And in case of irregular reflection, it is also called as diffused. So these are the other two names for both types of reflection, regular or specular, irregular or diffused reflection. And think of the example. One when the surface is smooth, one when surface is rough. And another classic example is the case of water. If you stare at still water, it is an example for regular reflection when the water is still. Whereas if the water is not still or flowing non-uniformly, you will see irregular reflection. So that is another example you can relate to. And mostly all the wood material, wall material, all forms irregular reflection. That is why we don't see our image formation there. Noted it down. Two terms, regular and irregular reflection. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now try to solve these two questions. Here I have marked two questions, and each of this I have marked one of the angle. Try to find, in first question, find the angle of reflection. In second question, find both angle of incidence and angle of reflection. Try to do it fast. Two questions are given. First question, I have given the angle of incidence. You need to find angle of reflection. Second case, I have given marked one of the angle there. You need to find angle of incidence and angle of reflection. Do it fast. Both cases, simple idea based on laws of reflection. Don't forget about the arrows. In all the diagrams you find in these slides, I will not be putting the arrows, so it is up to you to complete the arrows. And never draw a ray without an arrow because it is actually meaningless. The purpose of ray itself is to show the direction. So whenever you draw a ray representing incident ray or reflected or refracted ray, you should immediately point an arrow. Yeah, completed the first question. What is the answer in first question? What is the angle of reflection there?
50 degree.
Yeah, here it is 50 degree. What is the reason? Because we know that what? According to laws of reflection, angle I will always be equal to angle R. So it is 50 degree. Now what about second question? Here what is angle of incidence and angle of reflection?
55.
55. How? How did you get 55?
First, I draw the normal.
Yeah, first you should construct the normal. And how will you construct the normal? This is the point of incidence. So when you draw a perpendicular to the point of incidence, this will be your normal. And we know that this total angle is what? If normal is there, the total angle will be 90 degree. And here you want what? The angle between the normal and incident ray. And here total angle is 90. This much angle is 35. So here I will be 90 minus 35. And what is 90 minus 35? It will be 55 degree. And if I is equal to 55 degree, you can easily find R is also equal to 55. Why? Because from laws of first law of reflection, we know I is equal to R. So all of you completed?
Yes, sir.
What about this angle? What about this angle?
35.
Yeah, it will also be 35. But again, I'm repeating, don't take that as angle of incidence or reflection. It is always with respect to normal. If that is the case, we'll do another question. Yeah, go through this question, try to solve it fast. Here you have two mirrors which are kept at an angle of 120 degree. Two mirrors which are kept at an angle of 120 degree. Now, I have given the angle of incidence on the first mirror. Angle of incidence on the first mirror, that is 65 degree. This one. You are asked to find the angle of reflection from the second mirror. That is angle of reflection from the second mirror. So draw the diagram, draw it neatly, then mark the given values, draw the given rays, then try to solve it fast. Do it fast. Can take 1 minute. You need to find the angle of reflection from the second mirror.
So it will be 65.
65, check it. Almost correct, but not correct. Not 65. Go through your
55.
Yeah, 55 is correct. Others, what about others? Very simple problem, just use the basic ideas in maths, geometry. Now first itself, in the first mirror, it is given angle of incidence is 65. If you are knowing the angle of incidence, immediately I can mark angle of reflection. Here this will also be 65. Why? Because laws of reflection. Now consider this triangle. Consider this triangle. In this triangle, already this angle is given. It is 120 degree. And if I know this angle, I can find the angle of incidence from the second mirror. Fine. And this angle is what? The total angle here is 90 degree. The total angle is 90. And to find this angle, this angle will be 90 minus 65. And what is 90 minus 65? What is 90?
25.
Yeah, it is 25. So you can mark this angle as 25 degree. Now in this triangle, we can use what? Triangle property. What is that? Sum of all the angles in a triangle will be how much?
180 degree.
Yeah, it will be 180. And here you have two angles. Which one? 120 degree and 25 degree. So to find the third angle will be 180 minus 120 plus 25 degree. And what is 120 plus 25? So third angle, let me mark it as theta. So theta is equal to 180 minus 120 plus 25. It will be 180 minus dash.
145.
Yeah, 145. And what is the answer here? 180 minus 145. We'll get
35.
Yeah, 35 degree. So this angle is 35. This angle is 35 degree. Now, once you have this angle, we can easily find angle of incidence from the first mirror. How? You need to construct a normal. So this angle will give angle of incidence of the second mirror. I can mark it as I2. This will be I1. Now, how much is this? It is 90 minus 35. 90 minus 35. And 90 minus 35, again, it is 55 degree. And if angle of incidence is 55, angle of reflection will also be 55. So here answer is 55 degree. All of you completed this question?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Simple question, just to use this idea. That is, if you have a perpendicular, total angle is 90, other angle will be 90 minus whatever it is given. Then go with the flow of the figure. Okay, fine. Yeah, now consider this case. Here, this is your incident ray. Tell me what is the angle of incidence and angle of reflection in this case. You have a mirror kept horizontally. Now incident ray is striking perpendicular to the surface. Question is, what will be the angle of incidence and angle of reflection in this case? Tell fast.
90 degree.
Think and answer. We have
0.
a mirror kept and a ray is striking perpendicular to it. I am asking what is the angle of incidence and angle of reflection in this case. Two answers I have got, 0, 90. What about others? Two answers have came, 0 degree, 90 degree. What about others?
0 degree.
Yeah, again 0. Those who are going for 0 degree, can you give me the reason? If it is 0, why? What made you say that it is 0 degree?
Sir, because the normal is perpendicular and incident is striking perpendicularly again.
So, as a result,
It's 0 degree.
why? If the two rays are perpendicular, it is 0 degree. Why? I have asked a
No angle formation, sir.
Yeah, no angle formation. So here, in this case, this is your incident ray. So I can mark the incident ray going perpendicular to the surface. Now, if you trace your normal ray, that is at the point of incidence, you should consider perpendicular. So this will be your normal ray here. And what is the angle between two lines which are crossing each other? Or here I can say the two lines are parallel. So what is the angle between two parallel rays? Or what is the angle between, if I draw one line like this and I'm going to draw another line on top of it? What is the angle separation between the two lines? It is 0 degree. Whenever two lines come one on the top of another line, there is no angle difference. For there to be an angle, suppose this is one line, and second line I should at least draw it with a difference from the second angle. Then only there is scope for what? An angle formation, right? And this angle can vary. If I draw like this, angle will be 90. If I draw like this, it will be a very acute angle. Fine. So here both are overlapping with respect to each other. So here the theta or the angle found between incident ray and normal is what? 0 degree. That is 0. I can conclude I is equal to 0. Now if I is equal to 0, from laws of reflection we know R will also be equal to 0. So this is a very special case when incident ray is striking perpendicular to the reflecting surface. The angle of incidence and angle of reflection is 0. Now tell me, if angle of reflection is 0, how will the ray go back? If angle of reflection is 0, where should I draw the going back arrow? How should I draw? It will also get reflected back along the same,
Perpendicular way.
Yeah, in the perpendicular means same path. Or here, the ray retrace its path. So this is a special case, a case where the incident ray is getting reflected along its own path, or the ray comes like the mirror, retraces its path after reflection. Fine. And this has a special name. We call it as normal incidence. So next to note down your notebook, normal incidence. Now, what do you mean by normal incidence? When a ray of light strike any reflecting surface. Again, I have made this mistake everywhere. I have written refracting. It is reflecting. Don't mind. Yeah. So whenever a ray of light strikes a reflecting surface, what happens to that? Here also, this idea is very important. Not any ray, a ray which is striking perpendicular to the reflecting surface, what will happen? It will get reflected back along the same path. So note it down. This is known as normal incidence. And it is a very key idea because for ray diagrams purpose, it is very easy to draw. You only need to draw what? A single ray. Suppose I'm giving a surface like this. This is your reflecting surface. Now, in this case, what will be the normal incidence? This is perpendicular. So if this is the incident ray, it will get reflected back. So only you just need to draw one ray. That shows both the reflection, incidence and reflection. So note it down. Remember it separately. What do you mean by normal incidence? Written.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. That also note down. Reason also keep it in your mind. Okay, fine. Now we are going to study this term image. Before studying image, we have to see the term object. Now, first class itself, we saw there are two types of object, mainly luminous and non-luminous. In this chapter, we will take object as both. It can be luminous or non-luminous. Why? Because luminous object itself will produce light, whereas non-luminous object, they cannot produce light, but they can reflect light that is falling on them. So object means a point from which incident ray comes. So it is a source of incident ray. So the first term is object. It is nothing but a source of incident ray. That is a region from where incident rays come. That is known as object. Okay. Now, once you have the object, there is always chances for getting an image. When, suppose you have an object here, some incident ray from the object is going in this particular fashion. It strikes a particular reflecting surface. Now, after reflection, suppose that these two reflected ray meet at a point. And if they meet at a point, you will get your image. So object means the point where incident ray starts. Now, image is what? Those incident rays after reflection will meet at a point. And that point you will get image. So image definition is what? It is a point of meeting of two reflected rays. So just note it down. What do you mean by image? It is formed by the meeting of two reflected rays. And in last part, you can see one more case is written there. In every cases, it is not required for the reflected rays to meet. In some cases, it can appear to meet. That means they are not actually meeting, but when we look, they appear to meet. Or according to our imagination, we can think that they will meet at a point. In that case also, you will get an image. So let's note it down. What do you mean by image? Image is formed when two reflected rays meet or when they appear to meet. Now, based on these two conditions, we have two types of images to study in this chapter. First one is a real image. Second one, virtual image. You have already heard this term before. Now, real image belongs to this first category when the two reflected rays actually meet at a point. So, real image is formed by the meeting of two reflected rays. Now, virtual image is what? It belongs to the second category when the reflected rays appear to meet. This is virtual, this is real. So, write it down. Two types of image. Real image, write down the definition. An image formed by meeting of two reflected rays is called real image. Or in other words, also you can specify a real image. Always, any type of real image, you can obtain it on a screen. So that is the second definition. A real image can be always obtained on a particular screen. Now coming to virtual image, it is an image which is formed by when the two reflected rays appear to meet. That means they are not meeting at a point, but we can imagine them to meet at a point. We cannot obtain them on a screen. So note down the two differences between real image and virtual image. Now, can you think of any examples for each case? Example for real image, example for virtual image, yes or no? If you think about this idea, you can easily answer. Can be obtained on a screen, cannot be obtained on, because that is what we see in daily life, right? Images that can be obtained on a screen, images that cannot be obtained on a screen. This is what we see in real life. So based on that, can you think of any example for real image, virtual image, yes or no? Are you familiar with this term? What happens
Projector.
in a projector? Yeah, what happens in a projector? You have a box, and in that box there will be a lens, and whatever surface you point this lens to, suppose I am keeping this box to a wall, you will get what? The image happening in that wall. Whatever film or any picture, you can display it in a wall. So wherever you turn this projector into, you can be obtained on a screen. Yes or no? This is what happens in your classrooms which you have digital class. What do you see? You can see a white screen, and on that white screen we obtain what? The image, which is formed by the lens in the projector. So always we can say a projector forms what? A real image. Projector forms a real image. Simple example. Other examples we have to study detail. We'll study about convex lens, concave mirror, other cases. That time we'll specify more example. For now, we can think about projector because it is an already familiar case. Now, what about virtual image? Virtual image classic example is nothing but most of you spend most of your time in front of what? Plane mirrors. Plane mirror is an example for forming a virtual image. So two examples we are noting: real image, example is projector. Other examples also we discuss as the chapter progress. Virtual image, simplest example is plane mirror. Now, next is about mirrors, types of mirrors. Now, this is where the chapter actually starts. And first type of, or how will you define a mirror? Mirror is nothing but any smooth and polished reflecting surface. And what happens when light falls on it? Almost 99%, 99.999% of light is getting reflected back. That means hardly any light is absorbed. So that surfaces we call it as mirror. What is mirror? A smooth and polished surface on which almost all the light is reflected back. Now we have different types of mirror. Mainly in this chapter, we will focus on spherical mirrors and plane mirrors. That is when the mirror's surface is straight, we call it as plane mirror. When the mirror surface is curved, we call it as spherical mirror. It can be either curved inwards or curved outwards. Fine. Now, simple question: how is a mirror made? Any idea? How is a mirror made? Tell fast. How can we make a mirror? Or what are the components of a mirror?
Glass.
Yeah, glass. Glass is a crucial part. Apart from glass, what is there? There will always be glass. Apart from glass, what is there? Think about the mirror that you find in your almara or table mirrors, anything. All of you have more than 3 or 4 mirrors at your home. Okay, fine. Then, yeah, fine. Try to
Aluminium.
Think about the answer. Do it as a homework. Think about the answer for this question. How is mirrors made? Find out the answer. And in next class, we will discuss. Today, time is almost up. So we'll wind up the class today. And if any doubts, ask it later. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.